Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Families in shock.
I really feel bad. I don't know what to feel at this point. You know, I feel sad, I feel mad, I feel, why my child?
Loved ones of those killed in that horrible wrong-way crash on I-75 speak out through their pain.
Drier conditions today. In fact, the widespread snow is to our south. But when can we finally get this cold air out of here?
Okay, Ben, but first, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. A young father gunned down in a completely random shooting at a Detroit gas station. Thanks for being with us for the news at 5. Javon Perry stopped to get gas just after midnight on Gratiot near State Fair on Detroit's east side.
Little did he know, just moments later, he would be ambushed and killed by two men who police are still seeking. Take a look at your screen right now. These are the two men who police say killed the young father. Sean Lay's been gathering the latest information on a very chilling case, Sean.
We've spent this morning checking out the security camera footage, chilling footage from this gas station from earlier this morning. What it shows is clear that this young father was ambushed right here at one of these pumps. These are photos of Javon Perry. He was only 22. And he only wanted to fill up after his shift early this morning on Detroit's east side. What you see in this security camera footage is shocking and it's heartbreaking. Perry walked in to pay for his gas at the Marathon station on Gratiot. Some of the men inside were acting aggressively, and you could tell that Perry wanted to steer clear of them. He waited at the door for several moments, looking to see if he could return to his car and safely pump his gas. Outside, he's approached by a young man in a black hoodie. Perry backs away. A man in red approaches. Perry runs. You can see the man in black pulls a gun. Javon Perry was shot in the head as he was running for his life. This is Perry's cousin.
I'm hurting for AJ.
You saying he worked hard for his car?
Worked very hard. Everything he got, he worked hard for. That's all those boys know is grind for what you want.
And you think someone saw the car and saw?
I don't know. I don't know what they saw.
Detroit police say these are clear images of both of the men wanted in the killing. The man in the black hoodie and his friend in red seen moments before inside the gas station. They were driven away by other friends of theirs in this gold Buick. The gas station is not a green light gas station linked to Detroit police with real-time cameras that can serve as a deterrent to criminal activity. But the station's cameras captured a young father trying to be careful, shot and killed anyway. His white Cadillac left at the pump with the nozzle still inside. Police are calling those men armed and dangerous. Call police if you can help identify them. Meantime, so many family members and friends of Javon Perry, they're calling him a great guy and a loyal family member. From Detroit's east side, Sean Lay, Local 4.
Right, Sean, in fact, let's take another look at the suspects in the video here. If you think you know them, anything about them, anything about what happened, you're urged to contact Detroit police right away.
We want to get to a developing story right now in Fraser. Macomb County Executive Mark Hackel has just issued a county-wide state of emergency due to the collapsed drain pipe and sinkhole there in Fraser. The declaration is a key step in the process to get state emergency aid. This comes as evacuated residents are meeting with city officials right now to see when they can get back inside their homes. Armar McDonald is at that meeting, and we'll have a live report ahead coming up on Local 4 News at 6 o'clock.
Well, the frigid air seems to be sticking around. In fact, it's coming with a little bit of snow now, too.
That it is. Let's get over to Ben right now. Ben, we've seen some snow in kind of short bursts here and there.
Yeah, Kim, it was a lot worse this morning for that drive into work. Going home tonight, you may even see more sunshine than you will snow. Well, not now because it's getting dark, but clearer skies, let's put it that way. Couple flakes, mainly at our west and south zones right now, and that should be just about it. Temperature-wise, everybody's in the cold. Temperatures will sink into the single digits tonight, and those wind chills will go negative in parts of the area. We'll look at that in your 4-zone forecast and find out when we can finally get some relief in just a few minutes. Kim.
Right now, 2 people are still fighting for their lives after this horrific wrong-way crash Wednesday morning on I-75. Meanwhile, families of the 3 people who died in that wreck are struggling to describe the shock and pain they're going through. Let's get to Priya Mann live. And Priya, it's hard to imagine what they're going through right now.
And Kimberly, these families are devastated. They say reality hasn't really sunk in yet. One victim, he was known as the goofball of his group, the one guy everybody turned to when they were down. The other was a father to a 5-year-old girl working to save up for his very own car. And now these families say they are shocked and saddened that these 2 friends were killed together.
Why my child? Why him?
Janetta Pugh's son, 23-year-old Carl Hawkins, was killed Wednesday morning in a wrong-way crash on I-75. She watched the aftermath on television.
And I just didn't pay no attention. I was like, oh, another crash. And I went on about my day.
Hours later, Pugh learned her son was one of the victims.
And then my phone started ringing and people was in the background crying. I was like, what's going on?
Hawkins leaves behind his 5-year-old daughter, Renea.
He loved her. It's really hard. I don't know how we're going to get through it, but I guess with prayer, we'll get through it.
Hawkins' friend, 21-year-old Elijah Holden, was also killed.
2 of them at one time is messed up.
Jaquita Edwards was a close friend with both men for years.
They was cool people. Anybody, once you meet them, anybody would get cool with them. They just had that sense of humor.
The men were traveling in an Oldsmobile Silhouette when they were hit by a driver going the wrong way on southbound I-75 near I-94. 2 other people traveling with them remain in critical condition.
Still in denial, to be honest. Like, I don't want to believe it.
And he was on his way out the door, and I just said, oh, Carl, I love you, Carl. Give me a hug. And I kissed him. That was the last time I seen my baby. I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
It was so difficult talking to that mother. The 3rd person who died was the driver who was going the wrong way on I-75. She's been identified as a 34-year-old woman from New Baltimore. She was alone at the time of the crash. In addition to driving the wrong way, state police are also investigating whether speed, alcohol, or drugs were factors in this crash. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Well, Priya, have police been able to figure out maybe what she was doing before the crash?
Well, police say she spent about an hour at Greektown Casino. This crash happened at about 3:45 Wednesday morning. Police saying she spent about an hour at Greektown Casino before getting on the freeway, ultimately in the wrong direction.
So sad. All right, Priya, thank you. Felony charges dismissed today against 2 social workers linked to the death of a 3-year-old.
Aaron Miner's body was found decomposed in his mother's Detroit apartment back in May. Social workers Elena Brown and Kelly Williams were later charged. Well, today a judge dropped the felony manslaughter and child abuse charge against both women, saying there was insufficient evidence. Both are still charged with willful neglect of duty. We should note, very importantly to note, Aaron's mother, Deanna Miner, is charged with murder. Singer Trey Songz was back in a Detroit courtroom today.
Yeah, he was.
We're told, yes.
A probable cause hearing for the 32-year-old, whose legal name is Tremaine Neverson, was held today before its scheduled time. The media was not allowed in the courtroom. So we did learn, though, that Songz is due back in court February 10th for a preliminary exam. He's accused of punching a Detroit police sergeant last week while having a meltdown during a concert at Joe Louis Arena. He is facing 2 assault-related charges.
A new bill signed by Michigan Governor Snyder means 75-mile-an-hour speed limits could finally be coming to Michigan. The new law would mean certain freeways could raise the speed limit to 75 miles an hour, but they would have to undergo safety testing first. The new legislation would also raise the speed limit for certain non-freeway roads to be 65 miles an hour, and also would increase the maximum speed limit for trucks from 60 to 65.
Well, I guess about this time tomorrow, the Lions will be packing up and heading off to Seattle.
Short week, of course, with a Sunday night game and now a Saturday game against the Seahawks. Bernie's here now with all the goings-on today in Allen Park.
Yeah, they do have a short work week, but as Jim Caldwell always says, no excuses. And they are thrilled to be one of the 12 teams still alive and in the playoffs. We've got highlights of the Lions as they worked out in Allen Park today. Seahawks remain 8-point favorites as Golden Tate returns to the city. He helped win a Super Bowl. Tate spoke today, and he was asked about the Seahawks, and as you know, intimidation is a big part of their game.
As far as intimidation, I'm not really intimidated. Maybe it's because I know those guys personally on a deeper level, but I think confidence. They're definitely a confident team. They know that they can win, and they think they should win all the time, and they prepare like that.
Yeah, there's the Seahawks. Well, the last time the Lions played the Seahawks in Seattle, you might remember they lost 13-10. You might also remember Calvin Johnson fumbled near the goal line late in the 4th. The ball was batted out of the end zone by the Seahawks in the final seconds. The NFL said the refs made the incorrect call there, that the Lions should have gotten the ball back at the 1-yard line. Showing that play would be way too painful at this moment.
I appreciate you not sparing us there.
I think we all have it ingrained in our brain.
It
was Cam, what was the linebacker? Cam
Chancellor.
Cam Chancellor, the big linebacker, batted out.
I'm still bitter.
Well, you can be bitter, but remember, I mean, stuff has a way of evening out.
That's
so.
true. I think it's going to be
They owe you
close,
one.
and we are due.
They owe you one.
There's also a playoff call that, against the Cowboys.
Well, that would be next week. Okay. After you get by this one.
I like
you got another one to make
go.
clear. Right, exactly.
Well, I don't know if you've heard or not, but Local 4 is your home for Saturday's game. Oh, really? Yeah, it's going to be right here. We've got it. The Lions take on the Seahawks in Seattle. Our special coverage starts with Local 4 News at 6. Jamie Edmonds will have special reports live from Seattle.
Football Night in America at 7:30, leading all the way up to kickoff at 8:15. And then stay with us, of course, immediately after the game for a special edition of Local 4 News. Good stuff. Well, Macy's, Sears, and Kmart all making huge cuts and all closing stores.
So what does this mean? Does these huge cuts mean traditional brick and mortar stores are becoming extinct? What both experts and shoppers are saying. The answer is really surprising. Jason?
9 years ago, he was gunned down by two men. Police know the exact time and the exact place. What you might be able to do to help solve this murder.
But first, brand new information after an SUV goes right into a Fowlerville restaurant. That is next.
What's your new at 6?
A 911 dispatcher attacked and beaten after going to work. New at 6, the video that shows the moments leading up to the vicious assault.
And concerned parents get some surprising guidance. New tonight, what doctors are telling parents to do that could prevent their child from developing peanut allergies.
A restaurant in Fowlerville is now left in need of some major repairs after a car came crashing into the building right during dinner time. Surveillance video here shows the moment an SUV came smashing through the building's walls, stunning customers. If you look closely there, you see the vehicle nearly misses a group sitting at a booth right there. This happened Tuesday at the Fowlerville Farms family restaurant. Miraculously, nobody was hurt in all this. Police say the driver may have accidentally hit the gas while parking outside.
A 9-year-old murder case has gone cold, but police and family of the victim hoping someone can be the spark that helps close it. Gray Major Nelson was killed December 8th outside the Coney Island on Finkel near Schaefer Highway. Jason Colthorpe live on the west side to bring us up to speed on what has been a very slow-moving case, Jason.
Yeah, Devin, they're really hoping some of those specific details might jog someone's memory. We're talking an exact time, December 8th, 2007, at exactly 6:45 outside the Brooklyn Coney Island, which is now Detroit Corned Beef in Coney Island. But could Nelson have known the two men who shot him? Could someone else in that area have known those two men? His family certainly hopes someone remembers something as they are searching for justice.
There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of anger.
And it's never gone away for Renee Jones, who raised her nephew like a son after his mother died. She remembers 2007 well.
According to the statistics, in 2007, there were 394 murders in the city of Detroit, and he was 366.
Major Nelson was known as Mankey. He was coming home from Sam's Drugs that night when two men approached him. They argued and then shot Nelson several times. And even though it's been almost a decade, time has not healed this wound.
People say it does, but it doesn't. Because especially Christmas time, that was his favorite time. Oh my God, the day he was murdered, he had just bought his Christmas cards to send out.
Nelson, who was a UPS driver for more than 10 years, was a funny, well-liked man known for keeping the kids in his neighborhood up to date on the world by encouraging them to read the newspaper.
We all loved our loved ones. You would not want anyone to stay silent if it was you, if it was your mom, your dad, your grandparents.
If you have any information that might help police in any way in this case, you're encouraged to call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Tips are worth $2,500 if they lead to an arrest, $3,500 if they come in today. Tips are anonymous. The rewards are paid out anonymous. No recordings, no caller ID, nothing. We're on the west side tonight. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Take us back, though, Jason. Were there any leads at the time?
You know, police are saying it's still an open investigation, so they don't want to comment on leads. But the thinking is what they're hoping now is somebody might come forward who may have been working in that Coney Island or working in Sam's Drugs or Sam's Liquor, which is right next door there. Somebody who was working there that may have remembered something about the two men he argued with that night before he was shot, Devin.
Yeah. All right, Jason. Well, the Henry Ford in Dearborn coming into 2017 stronger than ever.
The museum looked back at the numbers and found it attracted record-setting numbers of visitors last year, nearly 2 million. That's a 5% higher rate than 2015 and the most visitors it's seen since the year 2012. The museum's president says popular exhibits such as the Beatles Magical History Tour and popular events such as the annual Holiday Nights made it all possible.
We got out to Holiday Night. You got out to Holiday Nights too. It was fantastic again.
That is awesome. Yeah, anytime you got folks in town, always
get out
go there.
Yeah. So that's a record year for the zoo, as we reported yesterday too.
Yeah.
So that's great stuff going on. Nice.
The numbers are going up everywhere but the forecast. Those are still going down. We're probably going to be within our coldest mark here within the next 24 hours. And then we'll start seeing some warm up, but really it's going to be next week before that happens. As you look around the region, most of that snow, we told you at the top of the show, is down to the south. And this is not as far south as it's going. Winter storm warnings in effect right now in northern Georgia, including Atlanta. 3 to 4 inches of snow expected down there. And if you've spent any time down south, you know there's probably not a gallon of milk or a roll of toilet paper south of the Mason-Dixon line right now as everybody is freaking out with the snow on the way. Now, we are going to be under the influence of high pressure, so the only thing that we've got to worry about is maybe a couple of these lake effect flakes. I think that's only going to be in our south zone and possibly lower west zones as we get into tomorrow and also Saturday afternoon. Most of the stretch coming up through Sunday is looking dry as that high is just going to be off to our south. But again, no real change in the temperature, so it's going to be very consistent as we get to the upcoming weekend. Speaking of, we are in the teens everywhere right now. Pontiac, one of the coldest spots at 11. We have seen some clearing here in the north section of our area. The gusts have gone down, but wind speeds are still about 10 to 15 miles an hour, so that's enough to give us wind chills that are close to 0 right now and will go negative for much of the nighttime hours tonight. 8 above is going to be the low temperature. And again, a quick snow shower not out of the question in our south zone mainly, but I think a lot of us are going to stay dry tonight. 18 is as good as it gets tomorrow. West wind just about 10 miles an hour, but still enough to keep those wind chills down. We're going to look at your wake up wind chills. This is how the bus stop and your morning commute is going to feel tomorrow morning. And there will be negative wind chills even in our metro zone, usually where we see some of the milder temperatures. In our south zone tomorrow, pretty much negative territory as well. In fact, even colder, 5-6 degrees below 0 is how it's going to feel getting up for Friday morning tomorrow. West zone numbers even colder, 7 degrees below 0 there in Howell and Fenton, 6 below in Milford, and our coldest spot will be in the north zone. I think we will escape the double-digit below 0 wind chills. I don't know if that's a good mark or not, but it is only going to feel between 3 and 9 below 0 tomorrow morning. And then the numbers start going up next week. 30 on Monday. We'll be back above average on Tuesday. That's going to be a sloppy mess with that system. Even though it's going to start as snow, the mix and the rain will come pretty quickly, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about accumulations. But at least the morning temperatures will actually be higher than our daytime highs here for the next 4 days.
Some people would rather have snow rather than just that, slushy.
That's true. Sloppy, it's been tough on the ski slopes because every time we get a cold snap,
right.
It warms up again, and they can't really make it.
All right. Doc?
Did you overindulge during the holidays and now you're trying to get back on track? Well, coming up, a nutrition expert shares her 4 resolutions for a better diet and her secret to making healthy eating cheaper and less time consuming.
But first, a huge scare at Buckingham Palace, how a late night walk almost killed Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth is okay after nearly being shot at Buckingham Palace.
90-year-old Queen is known to take late-night walks around the palace when she's struggling to sleep. At this time, it almost ended in disaster when one of the guards apparently mistook her for an intruder. Luckily, the guard called out before shooting and then put down his weapon. The Queen has not been seen publicly since December 8th, but could be making an appearance as soon as this Sunday. We're told she's been fighting a terrible cold.
New calls now for the Pistons to drop singer Kid Rock as the face of their campaign that celebrates the team's move back to Detroit. The calls are coming from the Michigan chapter of the National Action Network and says Kid Rock's history of incorporating the Confederate flag into his music videos and live shows conflicts with the city of Detroit, its people, and the Pistons. The organization is now asking for a meeting with top executives from the Pistons to discuss the matter further.
Getting your order of beer or wine just became more convenient here in Michigan thanks to a new rule that now allows any establishment with a license to sell alcohol to have tabletop dispensing machines available to customers. A customer would have to order from a worker first so that their legal age can be verified. After that, the customer can then dispense their beverage of choice at their own leisure. Restaurants, hotels, and bars are now able to at least consider implementing the idea.
New at 5:30.
So what? The odds makers aren't giving the Lions that much of a shot in the playoffs. The fans are still behind them, and they're saying, why not?
The Russians did hack the U.S. election, trying to help Donald Trump. That's the conclusion of U.S. intelligence at a hearing on Capitol Hill today.
Well, it's that time of year when the retailers have to decide whether they can stay in business. Are you sad to see this go?
Terribly sad.
And the retail world is changing in a big way. But what does it mean to you? We're going to take a look ahead.
It's dinner time. Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
It's the news that's rocking the world of retail. Massive cuts at Macy's, Kmart, and Sears. Now comes the real question. Will the internet make brick and mortar stores go extinct? January is the month where retailers tell us how their holiday shopping went.
Right.
And they also tell us what adjustments they need to make if things didn't go so well.
Kmart, Sears, and Macy's all reported disappointing results and all reported store closings. So what exactly is happening? Is brick and mortar shopping becoming the new dinosaur? For some answers, let's bring in business editor Rod Maloney, who's live downtown. Rod?
Yeah, Devin, you know, the brick and mortar store is not going away, just so you know. But look at this box. It's an Amazon box. You recognize it because of that great big smile, and there's a good reason why they smile. They delivered 2 billion packages last year, and they're making money like it's an ocean. And so where do we go from here? What's going to happen out at the shopping mall? Well, let's take a look. This unassuming Kmart was the very first. In 1962, when SS Kreisky decided to evolve into Kmart, Garden City resident Clara Bianchi was there.
I bought 2 bicycles, the big ones, for $20 each when they opened up the store.
Kmart proved cutting edge at the time, becoming the nation's #1 retailer for a time. Soon, the original Kmart will close, disappointing Lisa Clark.
This is where we come and we raise money for the good fellows. We ring the bell out here. We're just going to miss it. We're going to miss it a lot.
I hate to see a lot of the big business go out of Garden City.
Now, Amazon is cutting edge. Order online, they ship you your stuff from centers like this. Kmart shopper Kelsey Rabicki does both.
When I would go to college, I would get books cheaper, than buying at the bookstore. But I do love Kmart, though.
And Macy's will close this Westland store along with its Eastland Mall location. Does this mean that we're going to lose brick and mortar retailers? Loomis sales economist David Sowerby tells us
people want to still go shopping at bricks and mortar.
As Amazon grows exponentially, putting a new shipping center like this one in Livonia, what we're seeing is
cars replacing horse and carriage, lights replacing candles. This is evolution, it's technology, it's creative destruction, but it's good for the economy in the long run and good for consumers.
Now, I have some numbers for you if you want to see. David Sowerby said, let's look at 10-year returns, okay? Amazon has returned 34%. The stock market itself only 7%. Macy's returned 1% over the last 10 years. And take a look at Sears Holding, which owns Kmart, down 21%. That tells you all you need to know about the changing universe out there. Back to you.
Sure does. Probably shows a lot of people how they spent their money over the holidays. All right, Rod. Karen.
Here with Ben now, and spots around town got some heavy shots of snow today. We had those clouds in the area, and now it's getting cold.
Yeah. Now we dried out, but those clouds that left us in the afternoon gave us a few peaks of sun, may actually make it colder tonight. Here is where we're looking at some of those clearing spots on the north and east sides, basically. Some of those places that are showing clear skies, I think there's still some high clouds out there, but we have very few completely overcast locations, and nobody's reporting flurries right now, which I guess is good news. We're going to get a little bit of a break for most of us as we get through the next few days. In fact, we don't really have any major precipitation that's going to show up until next week. 17 is where we sit on the thermometer right now in Detroit, 11 in Chicago, and you can see there is colder air back here to the north and west. But I think within the next 24 hours, we're probably going to get to our coldest point of the forecast. It's just not going to warm up very fast beyond that. So tonight we'll go from 16 down to 12 here at 10 o'clock, and we will be seeing single-digit temperatures tonight. Wind chills will be negative, and we'll talk about the big warm-up for next week coming up in a few minutes. Guys.
Assistant Wayne County Prosecutor Bob Stevens is now formally charged after being arrested accused of drunk driving. Stevens is now facing a count of operating while intoxicated. It's a charge that comes after he was pulled over on Christmas on I-94 in Chesterfield Township after witnesses told deputies he sideswiped a vehicle. Back in 2014, Stevens was arrested on a charge of domestic violence. In Chicago, 4 people have been charged with hate crimes in a story that is still inexplicable to anybody who's seen it. They tortured it, according to police, an 18-year-old with special needs, and they did it on Facebook Live.
The video is horrifying. It shows the suspects actually laughing at the victim as they repeatedly hit him and cut off his clothes. The attackers were shouting anti-white and anti-Trump chants at the man as they beat him nearly to death. Police say the suspects were even texting the victim's parents during that attack and that the issue won't be taken lightly.
It's sickening. It's sickening. You know, it makes you wonder what would make individuals treat somebody like that.
The victim was taken to the hospital. He is traumatized, but he will recover. Meantime, the 4 suspects remain in custody. And there will be more on this story ahead on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, so make sure to stay for that following Local 4 News at 6.
The CIA-FBI report on Russian hacking of the U.S. election is finished, and there's one key finding. It's that Vladimir Putin's government tried to help Donald Trump win. Now Trump is going after U.S. intelligence, whose leader had his say today in a Senate hearing on the report. Steve Handelsman following it all on an extraordinary day at the Capitol. Steve.
Devin, today's report does not charge that Donald Trump won the election because of Russian help. No way to determine that, said U.S. intelligence. Like, if he wanted to, no way for Trump to stop issuance of this report today or this hearing. It was a hearing on hacking in defiance of Donald Trump by Republican John McCain.
Are you going to do nothing?
McCain is outraged about interference in the U.S. election.
Every American should be alarmed by Russia's attacks on our nation.
Was it Vladimir Putin's people penetrating Democratic Party computers and stealing emails for Julian Assange's WikiLeaks to hurt Hillary Clinton and help Trump? Yes, said Director of National Intelligence James Clapper. His confidence level?
It's very high.
And Russia said the DNI did more than hack.
Disinformation, fake news.
Does that continue?
Yes.
The report went today to President Obama with details of how the CIA and FBI say they got the goods on Putin. He told Chicago's WMAQ he hopes for less tension between U.S. intel and Trump.
It's going to be important to make sure that the president and the intelligence communities are both working based on the best possible information.
Tomorrow, the president-elect gets briefed on the hacks. He's implied the FBI and the CIA are fabricating a Putin connection to embarrass him. But Trump today tweeted, "The media lies to make it look like I am against intelligence, when in fact I am a big fan." And the Trump team is denying a Wall Street Journal report that he will downsize the CIA and revamp U.S. intelligence. The public report on the election hack comes out next week. Like today's classified version, it will say it's not possible to determine if Trump won and Clinton lost because of the Russian interference. From Capitol Hill, Steve Handelsman, Local 4.
Okay, Steve. Family and friends are saying their final goodbyes to late Hollywood actress Debbie Reynolds and her daughter, Star Wars icon Carrie Fisher.
A private memorial service was held for mother and daughter today at the Beverly Hills home they shared. Reynolds will now be buried at Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills. Fisher was cremated. Some of her ashes will be buried alongside her mother. The Marine Corps are making history today as the first 3 female infantry Marines will join their unit.
Women will be part of the 1st Battalion at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. Each of them will serve in various areas, including rifleman, machine gunner, and mortar Marine. Back in March, Defense Secretary Ash Carter approved plans to allow women to join military specialties that were previously reserved for men.
Well, when it comes to the possibility of the Lions winning the Super Bowl, it seems, well, there aren't a lot of people who believe that it could actually happen.
Well, that includes the sports books in Las Vegas. They tend to know what they're talking about. If you were to fly to Vegas today, where you can legally place a bet on the Lions to win the Super Bowl, you would get 90-1 odds. That is the lowest of all of 12 of the playoff contenders. The New England Patriots, by the way, are at 13-10, which means you'd need to bet $13 to win $10. Just remember, these odds are a lot better, though, for the Lions than they were for Leicester City, and they ended up winning this year. So Jamie Edmonds looks inside the numbers to see if the Roar really has a shot.
The Lions have been saying all week long, it doesn't matter how they got into the playoffs, it's what they do next. The odds makers aren't giving the Lions much of a shot in the playoffs, but hey, they do love to be the underdog. Well, they made it. The Lions are in the playoffs for the second time in 3 years, and fans are cautiously optimistic.
I'm glad they're going to Seattle and they're not playing the Giants, because I think they can beat the Seahawks, even though it's an away game.
Okay, so those last 3 games weren't pretty. It's probably why the Lions are 8-point underdogs in Saturday's game at Seattle. But who says they couldn't upset the Seahawks in their house? Who says they can't win the Super Bowl? The odds makers put the Lions at 90-1 to win the Super Bowl, tied with Houston and Miami for the worst odds of the 12 teams left. So you're saying there's a chance?
I think they have a chance of winning.
Get this, it's harder to bowl a 300 game. Those odds are 11,500 to 1. It's harder to get a hole-in-one in golf. That's 5,000 to 1. It's also harder to win an Olympic medal at 662,000 to 1. And plenty of people have done all of those things, so why not the Lions? Would you put your money on the Lions?
Would I put my money? $5 I'll put on.
No, I put like $10 on it.
So maybe it's our year.
Go Lions!
As a wise man once said, you play to win the game. Hello? That's what the Lions will try and do on Saturday night in Seattle, and anything can happen in the playoffs. Jamie Edmonds, Local 4.
So those little bets, they're just fiscally conservative, or they're just not that confident?
That's a good way of looking at it.
Maybe.
But it has been a year of defying the odds. Now we're into a new year, so we'll see what 2017 means.
That's true.
We've got a lot more of the Lions ahead.
Bernie is in after the break with a look at practice today ahead of Saturday's big playoff matchup in Seattle.
Also, 2 teens make a huge mistake out on the ice. What quickly went very wrong and how a rescuer was able to get to them, fortunately, so quickly. Doc?
Did you overindulge during the holidays and now you're trying to get back on track? Well, coming up, a nutrition expert shares her 4 resolutions for a better diet and her secret to making healthy eating cheaper and less time consuming.
Jeopardy, welcome. New at 6.
A local woman followed to and from the grocery store. What happened when she says this man pulled her over posing as a police officer?
Also, a bookkeeper for an Oakland County business accused of embezzling more than $1 million. New at 6, the discovery that led to a criminal investigation.
Good health. If you had overindulged over the holidays, well, you're not alone. January is often that time to hit that reset button.
So many people do. If you're resolving to eat better in the new year, Dr. Frank B. George here with some advice on where to start, which is a good place to commence.
You've always got to start somewhere, exactly. So we asked a local nutrition expert for her top 4 resolutions to help improve your diet. They're changes designed to boost your health, encourage weight loss, and reduce your risk of a long list of illnesses.
Number 1, the easiest thing you can do is choose a healthy beverage.
Shannon Zales is a wellness dietitian at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. She says if you make one change to your diet this year, resolve to rethink your drink. She recommends gradually replacing pops with fruit or herb-infused water.
People can drink up to 3 pops a day, and that's over 400 calories. That adds up to over 3,000 calories in a week. Just by making that switch alone, you can lose a pound a week.
Resolution number 2, snack smarter.
Fill up on fiber, but the key is to pair that fiber with protein.
Some examples: a banana paired with 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, a cheese stick with a handful of almonds or walnuts, or Greek yogurt with fresh fruit. Zales is also a fan of quinoa.
A half cup of cooked quinoa is going to add about 4 grams of protein and 3 grams of fiber, which is going to really round out your meal, whether it be dinner or lunch, or you can even just snack on that with some fresh vegetables in there too.
Resolution number 3, focus on eating foods that give you something good back.
that's kind of my mantra that I really like to promote. You know, fruits and vegetables are low in calorie and high in fiber, but they're also packed with antioxidants and vitamins and minerals that are really going to help to protect your body.
Finally, resolve to ditch the devices while you eat.
Number 4, mindful eating. Being mindful and not mindless. In this world of technology, we're all distracted. So you want to make sure you're turning off that computer, turning off the TV, to putting away your cell phone, and really focusing in on what you're eating. You can slow down, you can savor every bite, and really enjoy your meal. And that will help your body to communicate to your brain that you're full.
To make healthy eating less costly and less time-consuming, Zales says her secret weapons are soups and frozen fruits and vegetables.
I do a lot of batch cooking on the weekends, so lots of hearty soups. You know, if you do have to buy a frozen meal, plump it up with something easy where you can just open up the frozen bag and toss it in with that frozen meal and really add more value to what you're eating.
Now, Zales suggests starting with one of these resolutions and then gradually working the others in. The immediate side effect will be more energy, and she says patients are often surprised by how much more energetic they feel when they start drinking more water and eating more vitamin and mineral-rich foods.
It is, we do see, though, this attrition. Everybody starts out with great intentions, and by March...
Normally, isn't it like 6 weeks? Isn't it like mid-February?
And that's the hard part, is working it into your daily life. And that's why, you know, you have to do these things gradually and not try and, you know, overdo it all at once. Don't be overzealous.
Bernie is going real slow into the new year.
Ease it in.
He's not.
He says March, you say 6 weeks. I'm like 6 minutes in, I broke mine. I was like, yeah, exactly. I'm all done.